Her best friend called me a loser at a party, right in front of her, and all she did was laugh and say, "He tries his best." I didn't say anything. I just grabbed my jacket and left her there. 3 days later, she was online, posting about being publicly humiliated. It was supposed to be a laid-back weekend barbecue with Amanda's college friends. Nothing fancy, just burgers and beers at Mike and Emily's new place. I'd met most of them before. Good enough people, just a bit louder than I'm used to. Amanda and I had been together for 3 years, so I was used to these kinds of get-togethers. I'm not the life of the party type. Never have been. I'm Ryan, 36. I run a construction business. Started with just me and a pickup 10 years ago. Now I've got 20 guys on payroll and jobs lined up for the next year and a half. I work hard, save smart, and don't care about impressing people who don't matter. Amanda's 34, works in marketing, and is way more social than I am. That never bothered me. Opposites attract, right? She brought the energy, I brought the grounding. At least that's what I thought. The barbecue started off like any other. I was helping Mike with the grill, while Amanda chatted with her friends. Then Jess showed up, Amanda's best friend from college. I'd met her a few times. Always got a weird vibe, but I kept quiet. Amanda said they were basically sisters. Jess never tried to hide how little she thought of me, always throwing little digs about my job, my clothes, the fact I'd never been to Europe. I usually let it slide, not worth the drama. But that night hit different. I was bringing Amanda a drink when I heard Jess loud and clear, "Seriously, Amanda? Another summer without a real vacation? When are you going to stop settling and start living?" Amanda gave a nervous laugh. "We're saving for a house. Plus, Ryan's business keeps him busy." Jess rolled her eyes. "God, he's such a loser. No ambition, just pouring concrete and hammering nails. You could do so much better." The whole group went silent. Everyone turned to look at me, standing there with a drink in my hand, waiting to hear what Amanda would say. She laughed, not nervous this time. A real laugh. "He tries his best," she said, taking the drink without even looking at me. "Not everyone gets a flashy job like yours, Jess." The conversation picked up again like nothing happened. Like I hadn't just been humiliated by her friend. Like I hadn't just been betrayed by the woman I was going to propose to next month. I stood there for 3 seconds. Then I set my drink down, walked over to grab my jacket, and headed for the door. "Ryan." Amanda called out, sounding confused. I didn't answer, didn't look back, just got in my truck and drove home. By the time I pulled into my driveway, my phone was already blowing up. 12 missed calls, 23 texts, everything from "where are you" to "you're embarrassing me to call me back now." I turned off my phone and went to bed. Next morning, I got up at 5:30 like usual, went for a run, took a shower, made coffee. When I turned my phone back on, I had 37 new messages. The tone had changed. "I'm coming over. We need to talk. I've been knocking for 20 minutes. This is childish, Ryan." I sent one reply. "I'm not doing this over text. Call me when you're ready to talk like adults." An hour later, she showed up. "What the hell, Ryan?" she said, pushing past me into the living room. "You just walked out and left me stranded at Mike and Emily's." I shut the door and stayed calm. "Stranded? You had your car and plenty of people there. You weren't stranded. You were just caught off guard. You know exactly what I mean." Interesting choice of words. I said, leaning against the wall. "I embarrassed you? Not just calling me a loser to my face? Not you laughing and agreeing with her?" "I wasn't agreeing," she said. "I was just trying to defuse the situation by laughing. By saying I try my best. Like I'm some underachiever who's lucky to keep up." "You're blowing this way out of proportion," she sighed, dropping onto my couch. It was just Jess being Jess. Nobody takes her seriously. "I do," I said quietly. "And I took you seriously. Until you laughed instead of standing up for me." "So what?" she snapped. "I'm supposed to start drama every time Jess makes a comment? That's just how she is." I shook my head slowly. "No, that's how you let her be. There's a difference. It was just a stupid joke at a party. It wasn't a joke, Amanda. It was your reaction to it. 3 years together, and you couldn't say, "Don't talk about the man I love that way." She looked at me, her expression shifting. Less defensive now, more concerned. "Ryan, you're not seriously upset about this, are you? It's not a big deal." "It is to me." She changed her tone, softening her voice as she stood and walked toward me. "Baby, I'm sorry if your feelings got hurt. I wasn't thinking. Let's just move past it, okay? That word dinner's Thursday. Wear that blue shirt I like." I stepped back, keeping space between us. "I'm not going." Her smile dropped. "What do you mean?" "I mean I'm done. Amanda, we're over. You can't be serious. You're breaking up with me over one stupid comment." "No, I'm breaking up with you because when someone called me a loser, the woman who's supposed to love me laughed and agreed. That told me everything I need to know about how you really see me." "This is ridiculous," she shouted, tears welling up. "You're throwing away 3 years over nothing." "Not nothing," I said. "Self-respect." She tried everything. Crying, yelling, apologizing. None of it worked. Eventually, she stormed out and slammed the door. Over the next 2 days, I ignored her texts and calls. I focused on work, hit the gym harder than usual, and told my foreman I'd be off the grid for a bit. I needed time to pack Amanda's stuff from my place and grab my things from hers. We'd never officially moved in together, but after 3 years, our lives were intertwined. I stayed focused, boxed everything neatly, made inventory lists. The engagement ring I'd already bought went back into the safe. Then on the 3rd day, I saw it. Amanda had posted on social media a long, dramatic paragraph about being publicly humiliated by her boyfriend, how I'd abandoned her at a party over a harmless joke, how I'd blindsided her with my extreme reaction and emotional immaturity. The comments were piling up, her friends chiming in, calling me controlling, insecure, petty. Jess's comment? Classic. "You're better off without him. Men who can't take a joke are walking red flags." I didn't reply publicly. Instead, I texted Amanda, "I'll be dropping your things off tomorrow at 6. Your keys in the front pocket of your gray duffel. Please have my stuff ready." She replied right away, "We need to talk about this like adults. Stop being childish." I didn't engage, just repeated, 6 p.m., please have my things ready. When I showed up the next night, she was already waiting. She dressed up, fixed her hair, and wore the perfume she knew I liked. Classic Amanda. Manipulation tactics I'd fallen for too many times. "Ryan," she began, voice soft, "this has gone far enough. We need to talk. I'm just here for my things," I said, placing the boxes down in the entryway. "Please, 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." I checked my watch. "You've got 5. She launched into a rehearsed speech about how sorry she was, how she didn't know how to respond when Jess said what she did, how she reflected on it since then. "I even talked to Jess," she went on. "Told her she owes you an apology. She agreed to meet us for coffee, to make things right." I almost laughed. "You still don't get it. This was never about Jess." "I know," she said quickly. "It's about how I reacted. And I'm really sorry, Ryan. It won't happen again." "You're right about that," I said, picking up a box of my stuff. "Where's the rest?" She blinked, caught off guard, like I'd gone off script. That's it. "Ryan, please. I love you. Doesn't that mean anything?" "Love without respect isn't love," I replied. "It's just convenience." Her voice shifted. Desperation turned to anger. "So that's it? You're throwing away 3 years just because your ego got bruised." "My ego's fine," I said calmly. "My understanding of what this relationship really is, that's what changed." "You'll regret this," she snapped. "Good luck finding someone who will put up with your boring workaholic life and constant need for validation." I nodded once. "Thanks for confirming I made the right choice." As I reached for the door, she made one last play. "What about the Cabo trip next month? The flights are non-refundable. Everyone's expecting us." I turned. Everyone? You mean your college friends? Jess. Her silence told me everything. Enjoy Cabo, I said, closing the door behind me. The fallout came fast, just like I expected. More social media posts painting me as the bad guy. Mutual friends picking sides. Amanda's mom calling to say I was making a huge mistake over a simple misunderstanding. I stayed quiet, focused on work. Reconnected with friends I'd been too busy to see. Started hitting the gym 5 days a week instead of 3. Just lived my life on my terms. Then 2 weeks later, her tone online shifted. No more angry posts about me. Now it was all motivational quotes about knowing your worth and letting go of what no longer serves you. A classic rebrand. Then Emily, Mike's wife, called me out of the blue. Ryan, she said, I think you should know something. After I'd left the barbecue, Jess kept going. She spent the next 20 minutes trashing me to anyone who'd listen. Eventually, Mike told her to cut it out or leave. That's when she lost it. Said, Amanda deserves better than some blue-collar nobody with no education. And Amanda? I asked. She finally defended you, Emily said. Too little, too late. I replied, I know, but that's not why I called. She hesitated. The Cabo trip. It was supposed to be a surprise engagement. Amanda's been telling everyone you were planning to propose. A chill crept down my spine. I had been planning to propose. But I'd never told Amanda. Never mentioned the ring to anyone. How did she know that? I asked slowly. Emily hesitated again. She's been going through your things, Ryan. For months. She found the ring 2 months ago. Took pictures. Showed her friends. Jess has been helping her plan the wedding ever since. The violation hit harder than the party ever did. Amanda had been digging through my house, violating my trust for months. Thanks for telling me, I said. One more thing, Emily added. Jess and Ben, Mike's brother, they've been hooking up for months. Amanda knew. Everyone knew, except Mike. That's why Jess has always been so hostile with you. She's worried you'll tell Mike about Ben. And just like that, all the pieces snapped into place. Amanda's loyalty to Jess. Her tolerance of all the disrespect. Why she always made me the problem. It was all connected. A week later, Amanda showed up at my office, unannounced. My assistant tried to stop her, but she barged in anyway. We need to talk, she said, shutting the door behind her. I stayed seated. I'm working, Amanda. Make an appointment. Don't be like this, she said. It's important. The Carmichael deal is next week, she added, trying a different angle. It was her marketing firm's biggest potential client, something she'd been talking about for months. And I asked. They specifically requested to meet my contractor boyfriend. She'd been talking up my business for months. Said they were building 3 new locations and needed someone reliable. There it was, the real reason she suddenly wanted to make things right. Then call a contractor. I said, you've got plenty of options. Ryan, please, she said. This account could change my whole career. I'm begging you. I looked at her for a long time. This was the same woman who laughed when her friend called me a loser, who went through my things behind my back. And now she wanted to use my business to get ahead. No. She stared like she hadn't heard me. Excuse me? No. I repeated, standing up. I'm not your prop. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your business connection. I'm the loser who tries his best, remember? For the first time, I saw a real regret in her eyes. Not for how she treated me, but for losing what I could offer. The door's that way, I said, turning back to my paperwork. Lauren will show you out. Please don't come back. 2 days later, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. You were right. I'm sorry it took me this long to see it. I didn't respond. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. Last I heard, Amanda didn't land the Carmichael contract. Jess's affair with Mike's brother exploded at a dinner party. And me? I got the Carmichael job anyway. Turns out they'd been looking into local contractors and liked my company's track record. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't payback. It's peace. It's getting away and letting karma handle the rest. Update. 1 month later, didn't expect this story to blow up the way it did. Thanks for all the comments, messages, and support. To answer the common questions, no, I haven't spoken to Amanda since that day in my office. Yes, I kept the ring. It's still in the safe. No, I don't regret walking away. Here's what's happened since. The Carmichael job is going great. 3 commercial buildings, all on schedule and under budget. My team's killing it. Feels good to just do my work, without the drama. As for Mike, he finally found out about Jess and his brother. According to mutual friends, it got ugly. Yelling at a family dinner, drinks thrown, the whole 9 yards. Mike and Emily are trying to work through it. Ben, the brother, not welcome anymore. Amanda's firm lost a Carmichael contract and 2 more after her boss found out she'd been promising things they couldn't deliver, like exclusive deals to her contractor boyfriend. She's still employed, but got demoted. Karma's funny like that. Got a call from Amanda's dad last week. Unlike her mom, he's always been straight with me. Said he respected how I handled everything. No drama, no public call-outs. He's a contractor, too. Old school guy. Said, I raise her better than that. Made me realize sometimes the apple does fall far from the tree. The same people who call me insecure or controlling. Pretty quiet these days now that the truth about Jess is out. Amazing what a little honesty reveals. As for dating, no rush. Right now I'm focused on work, health, and reconnecting with friends I drifted from during that relationship. Signed up for woodworking classes I've been putting off for years. Built my first custom table last weekend. Not bad if I say so myself. Some people said I was too harsh, that I should have tried to work it out. But here's the thing, respect isn't negotiable. Once someone sees you as less than, once they're just settling for you while waiting for something better, what's left to fix? You can't build a future with someone who thinks you're temporary. Final thought, walking away isn't weakness. It's knowing your worth and choosing peace over performance. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. Sometimes it takes more strength to leave than to stay and fight for someone who doesn't value you. I chose peace over chaos. Self-respect over anyone else's approval. Best decision I've ever made. 6 months later. Final update, because closure matters. It's been half a year since that barbecue, and life has finally settled into a steady rhythm. Business is booming. Hired 5 new guys, added 2 trucks, and signed contracts that'll keep us booked solid through next year. The Carmichael buildings? Finished. They were so happy with the work. They referred us to 2 new clients. As for Amanda, I ran into her last week at a coffee shop. Total coincidence. One of those small-town moments. She looked different, still put together, but quieter. Less a performative vibe she used to carry. She asked if we could sit and talk for a minute. So we did. No drama. No scene. Just a real conversation between 2 people who shared history. This time, she apologized for real. Said losing me and the fallout at her job had been the wake-up call she didn't know she needed. Admitted she let Jess's opinions shape too much of how she saw the world. Said she's been in therapy, trying to reconnect with who she actually is. I told her I genuinely wished her the best. And I meant it. 3 years together doesn't just disappear, even when things end badly. Some part of you will always care that the other person is okay. Then she asked, Are you seeing anyone? Not in a hopeful way, just curious. Yeah, I said, a few months now. I met Kate in my woodworking class. She's an architect. Smart, grounded, honest. Laughs like she means it. And she respects what I do because she understands the work behind the craft. We're taking it slow. No pressure. Just building something real. Amanda nodded. No drama. She said, She's lucky to have you. I hope she knows that. We said goodbye. No promises to stay in touch. Just closure. As for Jess, last I heard, she moved out of state after things blew up with Mike's family. Don't know. Don't care. Some people don't change. They just find new crowds for the same old performance. To those of you who followed this whole story, thank you. Seriously. The messages from guys saying this helped them walk away from toxic situations, that means everything. Standing your ground doesn't mean starting a fight. Sometimes it's as simple as grabbing your coat and walking out the door. If there's one takeaway here, it's this. People will treat you how you let them. Set the standard early. Hold the line. The right ones will respect it. The wrong ones will call you controlling, insecure, or too sensitive. Let them. Your peace is worth more than their opinions. That's it for me. Back to building things that last. Edit. Some of you asked about the engagement ring. Sold it last month. Used the cash as a down payment on a cabin upstate. Weekend getaway spot. Something I've wanted for years. Way better investment than a ring that never got used. Edit 2. To the guy who messaged asking if I've gone soft for talking to a man at the coffee shop. Confidence doesn't have to be loud. Being civil isn't weakness. It just means the anger's gone. That's not softness. That's freedom.